Into the room, be coachable, teachable, trainable, post your city and state where you're catching this information from. On today is tutorial 16 of our step-by-step system building series. And if you are a current, new, emerging speaker who wants to maintain a consistent professional social media presence without having to spend hours daily on posting, then today you are going to understand the magic behind setting up social media automation inside of your Go High Level, your GHL account to build your authority and to attract opportunities, right? So we've built sophisticated communication systems thus far. We've talked about a way to communicate through email. We've talked about a way to communicate through through SMS text, as well as how to actually set up your funnel, get some organization to your CRM. But now we need to create some consistent social media, right? To build authority and to also attract new speaking opportunities. Okay. So social media automation can help you do just that. It can help you maintain consistent posting. It can help you share valuable content regularly. It can build authority in your speaking topics, and it can attract potential clients and opportunities, which will allow you to stay top of mind with your network, right? So today I'm going to show you some automation for content scheduling and distribution, some engagement and response management, as well as lead generation from social media. I'm also going to show you a very undervalued hidden gem that is inside of your GHL account, just in case you did not know that it comes with your entire system automatically included for free, okay? And you are overlooking it, okay? So the first thing I always set up for you guys, and that is your handy dandy checklist. So by you having a checklist that you can follow, you don't have to worry about whether or not you are skipping around, whether or not you are operating janky, whether or not you're riding dirty, whether or not you have no earthly idea where to do what it is that you need to do. You don't have to worry about that because your girl, voila, comes along with a handy dandy checklist that gives you everything that you need to be able to move along on this amazing journey we call the revamp, okay, of your GHL account. Because initially, when we put this first set of about 9 or 10 tutorials out, we went deep. We went deep with comprehensive, long-winded, long-form content to show you all the depth that your GHL account possesses. However, we had to dial some of that back because it went right over a lot of your heads. And I understand it because these platforms that we're talking about, GHL, Canva, StreamYard, Zoom, they can all take you down a pretty deep rabbit hole. Even though you may need all of the information, you just don't need it right away. And so I had to dial it back. We had to do a little revamp so you guys can understand some of the basics. But regardless of whether we did the comprehensive overview, whether or not we did the basic simplified setup, you need to understand that pre-planning is involved with anything that I'm giving you, even though I'm giving you a complete checklist for every single aspect of GHL to use inside of your business, to use for yourself as a new struggling entrepreneur, but specifically to the new emerging speaker. Okay, we're giving you an entire implementation guide, a checklist for you to follow step by step by step. But still, yet there is some pre-planning involved. And one of the ways that you need to do almost like a social media audit is to go in and review your current social media presence and identify any gaps. So if you're noticing high views on one reel compared to low views on another story, if you're looking at your TikTok followers compared to your IG followers, if you're looking at all of your subscribers on YouTube and you're wondering why all these people are not showing up on Facebook or LinkedIn, that is what I mean by identify some of the gaps. You need to define which social media platforms are your target platform, right? And what your goal is and what your key performance indicator will be for said platform. so that you can determine what is the optimal posting time for each individual platform. Now, of course, I'm always going to suggest you focus on one and you master one before you add any of your divided focus on another. Now, your girl is guilty for being all over the place because while I understand all of the amazing metrics that I am seeing that it happens with my IG interest, and then I turn around and I see all of the subscribers that are not happening on YouTube, but all of the thousand of percentage increase that's happening on TikTok. I get a little shiny eye syndrome as well, right? And I end up going over and looking and saying, what more can I do on TikTok to continue to maintain the consistency of that high percentage? And I end up taking my focus off of YouTube. Or I see the comments that are happening on Facebook, but I know the speaking realm really does live inside the professional platform of LinkedIn. But guys, we all have to dial it back and we all have to determine what is the optimal platform and what is the optimal posting times for your optimal audience. Okay. And then plan your content themes and messaging consistently across those platforms. That's the easiest way I can understand what you need to do in your pre-planning. Okay. When you get to this area where you are trying to focus on pre-planning, that is where you need to focus. Okay. So let's talk about social media integration and how you can ensure that your social media is correctly integrated inside of your platform. So let's go back out here. We've already saved this and we've completed the survey that was in a prior tutorial. And let's go over to the marketing aspect and the social media options that are available inside of your handy dandy platform. So again, okay, if you are not, and I'm gonna focus on one thing on the screen here in just a moment, but again, if you are not currently inside of your own sub account with GHL or the owner of your own GHL account, now is the time for you to do that. You need to go to ghl.martinabrityelverton.com, get your 14-day trial, go ahead and get started with tutorial 1 over on YouTube so that you can ensure, not Bridget's, but mine, so that you can ensure, Martina Britt Yelverton, so that you can ensure that you are caught up. You need to go over to this specific channel. Okay, that's your BrandMaster channel. You need to go to the new stuck or struggling emerging speaker playlist, and you need to scroll yourself down to number 1, which today is number 9, behind the scenes. Let's start over and get things right. And you want to start here, okay? Because this is going to explain what we're doing before you move into forms or calendars or websites or funnels or CRMs or custom fields or tags or pipelines or surveys. Before you even move into any of those, you need to go to the very first one and you need to get plugged in and get involved there. All right. So now that I've brought you forward, and today's tutorial, we're discussing social media planning. I need you to understand, like I said, go do a social media platform audit on yourself first, because here we are with shiny object syndrome. Threads, and threads are now available inside of the social planner. So what we're going to act like is you have just gotten your social media account. Your social media planning account open inside of your GHL, and you have no earthly idea what to do. The first thing that you're going to need to do is connect all of your social media to your own GHL account. Now, when you first launch your account, and let's bring up the BrandYOU agency account here. When you first come into your account and you open up your launch pad, this is where you should first land. And in landing here, you're going to have to connect your Facebook. You're going to have to connect your Google My Business. You're going to have to connect your Stripe account if you have it. You're going to have to connect all of these different things, right? You can connect them here. You can go over into the settings and you can go down to integrations. And you may need to also connect the integrations information here inside of the settings area and connect it to Facebook and Instagram, and make sure that your calendar is connected. Make sure that your Google My Business is connected. You're going to have to connect all these various areas for your system to work, right? And eventually it will navigate you to the marketing tab, and yours will look like this. You will have to go in and connect your Facebook, your Instagram, your newly optioned for Threads, your Google My Business, your LinkedIn, your TikTok, your YouTube, your Pinterest. And if you do not yet have a community, which you probably do not have a community yet, and that's okay, because shortly we will be discussing the communities, and you will actually be able in tutorial 18 to understand how to connect your community, okay? But again, this is what your page will look like. You will have nothing connected, and you will need to go in and connect each of your various options here. Okay. And once you have those connected, then inside of your account, you will see blank down here because you've never used it before. All right. And so in your never using it before, your screen will be blank down here. It will not look like this. It will look like the other screen that I just showed and shared with you. Okay. And if your screen happens to look like that, then you know that you're in the right place. As I said, utilizing your handy dandy checklist, you're going to connect your social media accounts. You're going to go to your marketing tab, and you're going to go to social media. You're going to go to your marketing tab, and you're going to come up here, and you're going to go to your social planning, social media area. Okay. You're going to actually connect inside of your dashboard, your LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads is now there, YouTube is now there. You're going to verify that all your connections are working properly, okay? And the way that you're going to test is when you get ready to create a post, you're going to actually create a post and see if it shows up on your platform. Then you can delete it. Again, this is the testing phase, okay? You're going to make sure that you configure your LinkedIn posting permissions and settings, set up a Facebook page post preference, okay? And if you choose to use X or Twitterfy, and did I just say Twitterfy? Yes, Twitter, and any of the API access, testing all of that, okay? And you're going to move down into what is next. So when it's time for you to move further, you're going to again plan your weekly content, right? Whether you're going to do speaking tips, whether you're going to do behind the scenes, whether you're going to do client success content, industry insights, resource sharing, you're going to determine by planning what specifically you're going to plan. Okay. Now you already know mine is get your assets in order. It's typically one of my hashtags. Have all that planning, leadership, management, no gatekeeping. Go ahead and know what your hashtag strategy will be. If you have no earthly idea how to develop that, then I suggest you use your handy dandy AI tool, your Manny. Okay, go ahead and get your Manus. And if you have, no idea what I'm talking about, Manus is Chat GPT on steroids. And if I could use a better word other than steroids, I would. It is like taking a gas can, putting it on, pouring gas on the coals and lighting a match. In my opinion, Manus is absolutely fire compared to Chat GPT. Why? Because not only does it give you all of the AI capabilities, it actually integrates with your Go High Level account. More about that much later down the tutorial rabbit hole of things that you can do to get your 4-hour workday strategy in place, thanks to our mentor, Bridget Bartlett. Okay. You want to make sure you take the opportunity to go and access your preferred Chat GPT, Gemini, Copilot, Manus, whatever you choose, and you need to go through having it help you determine your hashtag strategy. Okay. Once you determine that, you will know less than 10 and on what platforms to use which specific hashtags, keywords, any of that metadata that you need to utilize. Okay. And you're going to go through your planning, determining what is going to be your content category strategy, and then moving into creating the template for each of those. And of course, I'm going to suggest if you're using graphics that you utilize your handy dandy Canva. Why? Because you are available to utilize Canva to set up multiple unlimited templates so that all you have to do is cut and paste and drop in your images or drop in your testimonials or drop in your audio or drop in your video from any of the information you have received via your survey, via your messaging, via your email responses, any of that information to actually create your content templates for how you're going to distribute that. And then you're going to set your schedule for how you're going to distribute that information on your platform, whether you're going to distribute it weekly on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And of course, as you determine your optimal timing, whether it's going to be 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m., you're going to determine what is your actual timing for posting. Even moving beyond that, now we want to get into the automation of setting up automated responses inside your social media, where a thank you response automatically populates on a post, or a question response automatically populates on a comment, okay? Or your email kicks in or your SMS kicks in for automatically sending them a response based on their interest in you coming and speaking for a topic. I'd love to have more information about your event. I'll send you a direct message to discuss the details. And inside that response, it sends them your speaker inquiry link. Okay. Again, setting up automatic responses, even in social media, is a must. And you can further develop your engagement strategy. I've given you a checklist for how to do that. Now, also, you want to make sure that you're setting up mentions and monitoring, meaning you're setting up alerts for where your name or variations of your name come up. You can utilize Google Alerts for that as well. Monitoring what is happening in your industry to know it's time for me to be proactive and respond. All right. You can also use the social media to generate interest, further leads, and all of that by utilizing your lead magnet integration. That is where you set up your link or your media storage link to respond to an interest, or sending them to a funnel where they give you their information. Your funnel is set up to automatically give them access to a lead magnet. Additionally, you can set up social media workflows where you can actually have the engagement on comments, sharing information. When someone shares your content, you can add an engaged follower tag that will send them a thank you message. All of this can be set up inside of your social planning as well as inside of your workflow tools. Okay. Again, develop some social proof where you plan a strategy for showcasing all of this engagement. And again, ensuring that you do content and planning. So I have some information on YouTube where I go heavy into, did I just lose that place? I sure did. There we go. I have some information that goes heavy into how we take all of our StreamYard videos where we do any of our live and our pre-recorded information, and we break it down into clips automatically inside StreamYard, and then we distribute that information out as reels, shorts, clips, stories, all of that on social media. And the consistent comment response is obviously get inside of the community to get more tools like this, to network with other people inside of your industry, to get access to free checklist downloads, tutorials, and tips, get a strategy, all of that, so that you can learn how to take what you're already doing and create repurposed and batched work to turn those blog posts into social media series and things like that, how you can connect people to that. The bottom line is take your professional branding seriously, okay? Make sure that your profiles are optimized, your brand voice and messaging are consistent, that they are clear, that they are consistent, that they are communicative and connecting, that you are available to remain consistent in everything that you're doing, and that you have the opportunity to convert where possible. That is the 5 things framework that we discuss throughout all of our branding agency, okay? And ensuring that you make sure that your CRM, your pipeline, your email, and your SMS, everything is working seamlessly together. I give you a checklist for that, as well as paying attention to the analytics and how your things are performing. What do the engagement metrics look like? How many links are you tracking? How many likes, comments, shares, saves across all of your platforms? A lot of that is available when you go over to the actual statistics settings and you are available to see how your different things are performing. Okay. And so you're looking at several different options here. I have not done much with social planning here lately because, as you know, I've been recording these tutorials, getting ourselves ready for the 2025 SpeakerCon virtual conference. That is next month. It is 3 weeks away. Okay. And so we have not done a lot with setting up any of our social posting. However, because we know we're getting ready to go into a season where I will be busy doing that, this is one of the priorities inside of the agency to go ahead and put those social media posts up to actually showcase what I'm currently doing now to prepare for the upcoming conference. Again, that is what we mean by taking the opportunity to document the process of what you're doing now and posting it on social media for proof. So by the time the conference get here, there has been so much proof and anticipation that has been put out in advance, then you already know what it is, okay, inside of the agency. Again, additional checklists for crisis management, responding, return on investment, what that impact looks like for your business, how it converts to revenue, and additional business development. And again, even moving beyond this, post not publishing at scheduled times. You want to pay attention to that because you could be posting at times that aren't high, and you will then begin to get inconsistent responses across the board. So you want to make sure you take the time to really troubleshoot what's going on, because it could be that you don't have your integration set up properly. You could be running into content that is not approved, that has false claims in it, um, based on what the platform deems incompliant or false advertisement. So make sure you're paying attention to the keywords and the things that you're saying, that it is your actual results, not the results that is typical for people in general. These are my results. This is what's happening inside of my speaking career. This is what my agency is able to do for our clients, making sure that you're using compliant terminology, okay? And again, being consistent, posting regularly, and paying attention to what your social media is saying is happening. All of this is available inside of your social planning. So plan your social media content that will drive more interest to your speaking platform, developing a know, like, and trust factor. Okay. And again, like I say, document your social media for all to see. That is your social proof. Okay. And so, as I say here in the last part of this, in tutorial 17, we're going to talk about, memberships that actually monetize the social media audience and what that looks like for you. So, if you have no idea how to utilize your social media, how to plan it, how to schedule it, how to distribute it, then we will get more into how you can utilize your own membership, your own community, and your own course over the next 3 tutorials. Okay. We want to make sure that you're designing your social media posts so that they offer value. We're making sure that we're setting up your strategy, your engagement, all of this in an organized fashion so that you can actually bring people into your membership, your community, or your course, again, to continue to drive traffic throughout your entire ecosystem. Next, we're talking about memberships, but you also want to think even beyond that into community and into courses so that you can have additional revenue streams beyond your speaking platform. Okay, so that's your social media automation system. It is your consistent professional presence that will build your authority and attract speaking opportunities. Definitely grab your social media automation toolkit inside of the Brand You Agency community. And you can grab that at community.martinabrityelverton.com, ensuring that you are available to get your strategies, your checklist, your tutorials, and all that in an organized fashion. These guides will be available to you 24/7 on your schedule at your time frame, and you will be excited when we move into the next set of tutorials in phase 4 for the growth and monetization with your memberships, your communities, your courses, and any of the analytics. So again, I am BrandMaster Martina Britt Yelverton, and I help the emerging speaker to get your assets in order so that you can go from being a new, emerging, stuck, or struggling business entrepreneur or speaker, so that you can now attract people who need what it is that you have to offer. I'm your go-to girl for simplified graphics that you can manage yourself. And now we're showing you how you can also manage this new wave of technology with AI. I'll catch you guys on the very next tutorial.